What's going on, YouTube? We're back with Shades of. We're continuing our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. Last part we left off, we had finished the Emi route. It was adorable. It wasn't tear-jerking, but it was adorable, and it left me feeling quite happy. And now, we're gonna start a new game, and go towards a different lady love. This time I have decided to go after, young Miss Lily, and I had to look up a walkthrough as to how to, go to her, go to her, because last time I was just going at what I felt like was the right thing to do, and I ended up finding myself on the Emi path, and that was like something I did not expect to be doing. So I have to figure out how to do that and what the choices are, and I'm looking up a walkthrough real quick. Because I forgot to do that before I started recording. Might be. Basically, since they're all just since which path you go on is based on dialogue choice, I'm simply going to look up a walkthrough on how to get on a path, and unless I find myself on a bad ending, I will not use the walkthrough again. So basically, I'm just trying to get onto the correct path, and then that's it. Like, I'm not gonna go any farther than that. Give me a second, sorry. Alright then. Okay guys, I am back and we're going to start that new game. If you haven't watched my previous parts, and I'm going to be breezing through the beginning. Basically, if you haven't watched the beginning part, I'm going to give a quick... I'm going to ask you that you, that you go and watch the beginning part on my, on the Emi parts. So basically, what's happening here is that a girl, in a current situation, that he meets a girl a girl put a letter in his locker, and he picks it up, and then it happens to be the girl he likes. But in the emotion of this situation, it gives him a heart attack, and then he realizes he has arrhythmia, and he goes into a bit of a depression because like he's like in the hospital for several months, and like people stopped visiting him except for his parents. The girl he likes stopped visiting him, blah blah blah. All this like stuff about his health and all these medications he now has to take and all these precautions he has to keep in mind. It all just gets to him, and he goes to a really deep depression. And then he realizes, and then they tell him that he has to go to a school for the disabled, and just for like safety reasons. Because the current school he goes to doesn't have the proper accommodations to handle it if something bad happens and he gets another attack. So that's basically this entire intro sequence. Oops, did I go far? Oops. Did I skip the intro? The intro CG? Yeah, Act 1. I was just gonna skip the prologue, so anyway. Here we are. So that's the long and short of the beginning part. Basically, he has arrhythmia, a heart condition which causes irregular heartbeats if his heart's put too much stress. So, yeah. So anyway, here we go. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one is especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. What the hell? Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. Yes, it does. It should feel good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I always eat before I record, so I have like energy. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway through, going past trees and a small fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. The words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. Kinda eerie. Makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. Makes me think about the hospitals again, how they say in the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Well, 1, you're in a new setting. 2, you don't know anyone. You're going in here like blind, complete, essentially. Blind. Lily path. But yes, essentially, like, you're going at this with no information whatsoever. Everything's new, so it's normal to be anxious. Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. Technically, the last chance you had to turn back was back in the hospital room, because in the hospital room, if you didn't watch my beginning part, which you should, because Emmy was the first path I went on and I was completely blind, was basically, they gave him a choice. They're like, oh, it's best to go to this school, but if you don't want to, we could figure something out. But he was like, I should just go anyway, because it's best for me. And it kinda is. But still, after entering, there's absolutely no way I can go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I open the front door. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nikki Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asks you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation of this. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. It makes a lot of people nervous. That's normal. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? See, I made this choice last time, and there's a little check mark here saying that I've been through it before. That's pretty awesome, actually. So I go, yes, of course. Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. Oh, I muted it. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for Class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step, I know that, but there isn't a point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards at the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks, with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames, simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like the students in any other school, but then, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only they're just not immediately obvious. Then I notice one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand, and it's just jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen to someone talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice the flash of dark hair and see someone looking at me, a girl with long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if to make her invisible. There's only one boy there is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rim of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute, so's a cheery looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who only has one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for his applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisanakai, and after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I ended up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I had said. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with letting my gaze sleep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist and ends in a bandaged stump. Makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class rep. She can explain everything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Alright, Hakamichi is right there. She's named Hakamichi. As he calls her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Haha! What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you, too! I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi, Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she's been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has a short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses, balanced on top of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? Right? But I understand why you would think I was, Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf. So I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says, like, it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, right? Aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today. So soon. He-chan, right? He-chan. Yup, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits, just like you'd imagine. Haha, yeah, you look just like a He-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her finger on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, and their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Oops. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just think it came... I just came straight to class. Whoops. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there, not just with the school either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to going along with it, half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It didn't seem like it was about me. It seems like it was about me. Sorry, guys. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. You okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things. By asking! Asking for help is perfectly normal as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. I don't know why I did that. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Shichan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shichan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier, especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she seems just like that, just less so, I guess. Huh? Alright, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shichan will get mad. The assignment also looks kinda long. We should start now if we want to finish it before the class ends. That too. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After the class, we could take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of both being difficult and unnecessarily long. I know that feel. Still, we finish it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, and Misha is more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bell rings, and signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I followed Misha, who was beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby, where I met Muto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything else in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows and open to the courtyard toward the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seem great until I realized many of them are to accommodate students with specific dietary needs. Which is not what that said, but I said it anyway. Frack. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to minimize the walkthrough, and I accidentally, exited out, so give me a second. Because I'm only using a laptop, so, like, tiny screen's a little annoying. Okay, I'm back. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask if there's something. Ask about the library, apparently. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. There is! It's on the second floor, so I can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about the secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. My B. Oops. Whoopsie. Trip. I keep, like, going ahead. We arrived in the classroom early, but we're not the first. A dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over at her desk at the last row. She jumps for a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning to stone from our presence. Misha and Shizune either don't notice or don't mind it, as I walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Give me a second. Ugh. Sorry guys, I just have to adjust my headset. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. We've got to hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Wait, the teacher said I have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Sorry guys, I'm adjusting. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out their senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours, gods. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building. This is the auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Amaku Foundation office, and the nurse's office. They even have a swimming pool. How's that official? Don't be silly, Hee-chan, it's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with the actual education. I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I walk in hoping that this will be only a quick visit like the teacher said. Wow, I butchered that like a madman. On a white door on the left is a green cross with the text head nurse and a nameplate. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. Hello there! What can I do for you today? He's young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples on his cheeks wash that impression away as he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person who had heard this very same question hundreds of times. Why, yes I am. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by my name or just the nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is Hisao Nakai. Hisao! His eyes light up with revelation, and he snaps his fingers. Oh, you're that Nakai. I was just reading your file in the morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? He gestures me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes? Good, well you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there's a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. His joke feels so out of place that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, that's really weird to have so many medical people at a school. You'll get used to it. I'm not sure of that myself, but don't let the nurse know it. Now let me find your file again. While he searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of papers around, I'll let my gaze wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and all the equipment you'd expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me to eat properly 3 times a day from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So, you already have the medevac. Oh God. So, you already have the medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening and or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins to his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. Oh, my lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow, but really I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, I just had to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by sudden concussion to the chest area? There is no mention of that cause in your papers. No, not exactly. I sidestep the question acceptably, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise would do you some good. We have physical therapy and such available as I said, but I really don't think you need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks, or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, I'm sure you have been told this before, you just need to take care of it not to overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need, really, I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks, take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Good, that's it. Come meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realize it, a quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and auxiliary building, although to my eyes they still look one and the same. It's the first real look I get at the other students, so I watch people coming out of the school, going towards the gates or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they're going, and I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. Then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The weariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little way apart from the main building complex. There's a garden of some sorts between the school and the dorms, shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the free smell feels novel because I haven't been outside in all for so long. The dorm building is big and made of red brick, like the others. It feels way too pompous for what it is, so I push forward going inside. It takes more than necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevators at the end of the hallways. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems that only the girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off from the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seems to have a toilet and shower as well as 4 common rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplates on the rooms adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. By chance from below the room of 117, so I knock lightly. And I'm going to end it here because I know the next conversation is very, very, very long. So, thank you all so much for watching. I know this isn't much to begin with for the beginning, but I know I just wanted to skip the prologue, just the intro stuff. It kind of introduces all the characters again, and I kind of wanted to get around to that. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from myself, hit that like button, subscribe button, whoopsie. And you are now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later.